Thank you. I'll spotlight myself. Hi. Hello, everyone. My name is Nhi, and I am from Vietnam. I'm very happy to be here and speak to you guys. So before I start my sharing today, I would like to ask, no, I don't think this is a question, but I just want you guys to participate in some of my activities, and some of them are some questions that I want to ask. And if you guys have any answer, you can just type your answer in the chat box. That is the greatest way you can interact with me, because we cannot, speak very like in a conversation, because there are a lot of people. So responding in the chat box is the greatest way for us to interact with each other. Okay, and my first question for you, like activity for you, is to describe your day in one word. You can use any word. If you're not comfortable using English, you can also use Burmese, your language. But I prefer you use English because that's how I understand. So please say something about your day in the chat box so that I can see it. Oh, so yeah, nervous. Say one word about your day. Is it like a beautiful day, an exciting day? Busy. Yeah. Great. Yeah, I'm happy for you. Any other? Tired. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry to hear that. Miserable. Oh my God, this is a very negative word. I don't know what has happened to you, but I hope that you will feel better after my session. Wonderful, relaxing and fun, because today is my off day from work. That's great. Nice. Thank you for participating in a warm-up activity. Studying English and Chinese. Wow, that's basically what I do. All right, so let me just get started now. So today I am bringing this webinar to you guys, but this is actually not a webinar, like not an ordinary webinar, because I'm not sharing anything big. I'm just going to talk about my own language learning journey, and my sharing is very personal. It's not some expert knowledge or anything like that. It's just my personal learning experiences, and I want to share it with you guys. And yeah, my name is Nhi, Nhi. It's hard to pronounce, but it's okay. I think it's short and it's easy to spell, Nhi, right? And yeah, I am a language enthusiast, but still, I am a very ordinary person. Okay, so for my talk today, I'm going to divide it into 5 parts. The first part is about myself. I'm going to say something more about myself so that you know more about me before I share anything. And then I'll be talking about my motivation for language learning, why I learn languages. And then I'll be sharing more about how I improve my language fluency, my journey to become fluent in some languages. And then I'll be sharing with you some tools, some digital tools that you can use to learn languages. And those are the tools that I often use in my daily life, and they are really good, and I want to share with you guys. And then I'll be talking a little bit about my persistence, like the tips on how I consistently improve and like practice my language skills. Okay. All right, so that's it. And let's go to the first part, which is about me. Who am I? And all right, so let's play this game. I think you've already known this game called Two Truths and One Lie. But I'm going to share with you 3 truths and 2 lies about myself. So I have 5 sentences about myself, and and you are going to guess 2 of them. 2 of them are not right. 2 of them are lies about myself. So please tell me which number do you think are the lies? Number 1, I have run a full marathon. Number 2, I can play the guitar and the ukulele. Number 3, I don't know how to swim. Number 4, I lived in the UK for 2 years. And number 5, I never have a pet. So please have some guesses in the chat box. Just make a guess. And if you wanna ask me some questions so that you can guess, you can also raise your hand or ask the question in the chat box so that I can give you some clues. And yeah, and then you can give an answer. 1 and 4, 1 and 5, 4 and 5, 3 and 5. A lot of people think number 1 is a lie, and also number 5. Okay. All right. 3 and 5. Okay. Why do you guys think I lie about the pets? I actually don't have any pet, so it is not a lie. I never have a number 3 and number 5, 1, 4. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I don't know on what basis are on what things are you guys based on to guess, but I'm going to review the answers now. So the 2 lies are number 1 and number 4. I have never run a marathon, let alone a full marathon. I have never run a marathon in my life, but I want to run one. I actually registered for a marathon coming up in September. And that is going to be my first marathon, but it's only 5 kilometers, very, very short. And I'm not sure in my life, am I going to run a full marathon, like 42 kilometers. That's a lot for me. And yeah, I can play the guitar and the ukulele. I love music. I don't know how to swim. Yeah, I have learned how to swim, but I still cannot swim. And I lived in the UK for 2 years. I have never been to the UK. So this is a lie. And yeah, I never have a pet. This is a truth, a fact about myself. Yeah, so these 5 sentences, I mean, 3 sentences are just something about my life. And I hope that after listening to my talk today, you are going to learn even more about myself, about me. But what I want to share with you is that I am just an ordinary person. The reason why I am here today is because Wint is a very good friend of mine, and she invited me, and she hopes that I can share with you guys about some of my language learning experience. But actually, I am not a language expert. I am a very, very ordinary English learner, language learner, and I am not a polyglot either. I can only speak a few languages. I mean, 1, 2, 3, or 4 languages, but nowhere near a polyglot. And I don't intend to become a polyglot either. So I want to say this because I know that some of you who are listening to my talk today, you can feel very maybe insecure about yourself. You think that you're not good enough, or yeah, I mean, I do feel that sometimes. But because I do this today because I want to show you guys, since I am an ordinary person and I use very ordinary ways to learn a language. So I really hope that my ordinary experience is going to help you in your language learning journey. And yeah, that is a little bit of introduction. And then I'll be starting sharing now. Okay. I want to say something about the theme, the template that I use today. I actually want to use something that that has something to do with languages, like a template that has a lot of words, or I mean language related. But I ended up using this one with the beaches, the islands, the sea, and coconut trees. I want to use this template because I think it's summer. And yeah, I don't want to put a lot of language related things on the slide too, because that might make you feel frustrated. So I just use the summer theme for this one. And yeah, the same for my background, very related, right? Okay, so next I'm going to talk about my motivation for learning languages. Before I start my sharing, I want to ask you guys a question. Why do you want to learn a language? I think this question, that anyone can answer this question. You have a reason to learn a language, right? So please share that reason with me before I share mine. To communicate with people, for academic. Yeah, that's right. Any other reasons? For networking? I agree. Wow, a lot of networking. Is there any other reasons for why you have to learn a foreign language? Career opportunities, exactly. Understand other people, right? Is there anything else you want to share? Yeah, thank you for correcting that, Grandma. Love language and want to apply scholarship abroad. Yeah, that's great for studying abroad. Perfect. Yeah, there are a lot of possible reasons for language learning, right? To know their culture, exactly. Yeah, okay. All right, so I'm very happy to hear some of your sharing about the reasons why you want to learn a language. And I'm going to share mine as well. But before I share mine, I want to share with you the reason that Google gives for learning languages. I Googled the benefits of language learning, and this is what I found. So here are some of the benefits of language learning, and I do agree with most of them. So learning a language will help us enhance our problem solving skills, like will make our problem solving skills enhance. And this is especially true because when you use a language, you are actually trying to solve a communication problem, something like that. And then improved memory function. This is 100% right. So there's nothing to argue about this one. And then enhanced creative thinking capacity, verbal and spatial abilities, flexible and creative thinking, attitude toward the target language and culture. So here are some of the benefits that some organizations have found out about language learning. I especially agreed with number 6, improved attitude toward the target language and culture. This applied to when I learned Chinese. Before I learned Chinese, I didn't have a very positive attitude toward China as a country and towards some Chinese people, because it's just about the reputation, and like some people dislike China, right, in my country. And I didn't know anything about that, but I did have some negative feelings for China. But after I started learning Chinese and like I learned more about the culture and also like acquire the language, I changed a lot of perspectives on China and also on Chinese people. So I totally agree with number 6. Yeah, okay. Right. Maybe in Southeast Asia. Okay. But let me just share something deeper. I mean, about myself, the motivations for me to learn languages. So for me, languages are the tool to expand knowledge, exchange ideas and culture, and form relationships. So these are the reasons why I want to learn languages, learn different languages. By knowing how to speak English and Chinese, I can participate in different activities like this one. So this activity, this program is called Coach for College. And in this activity, in this program, US students, American athlete students from very prestigious universities like Harvard University, Princeton University, or Stanford University, they visit Vietnam, they come to Vietnam, and together, together with some other Vietnamese university students like me at the time, we went to a rural province in Vietnam and we taught the kids there English, some academic subjects, and then we also coached them sports. And in the second photo, you can see we were happy and some of them were crying actually because we won a competition, a sport competition. And this was one of the best memories in my college years. And this happened because I know to speak English. If I didn't know how to speak English, I wasn't able to be accepted to the program. And I was not able to have such amazing experience. And also, being able to speak English gives me a pretty good job. So by being able to speak English, I was offered this. It's a short-term job, but it allowed me to visit another country for free. And this time I went to Singapore. The company I worked for is called EF Education First, and they organize tours for students to visit some English speaking countries. And at that time, I took a group of students to Singapore, and I also made friends with an Indonesian friend, as you can see in the photo. And this is a photo of me and my students at the time. So English opened this door for me to Singapore. I had never been to Singapore at the time, but thanks to my English ability, I was offered the job and visit Singapore for free, which is great, right? And then scholarship. You did mention this. You guys mentioned this one. I got this scholarship, the fellowship, the Wisely Academic Fellowship. And I got to meet talented people around Southeast Asia, and I got to study great knowledge from US universities, and I will visit the US in the future, and again for free. And that is and being able to speak English is one of the reasons why I can get into this program, right? And this is where I met Wint, who is the organizer of this webinar today. And also, next I'm going to talk about something that is a little bit practical, a little bit realistic, materialistic, I guess, which is money. So being able to speak English and use English, I can earn a lot of money, like to support my life and also my family's life. And sometimes learning English is just for fun. Because for me, learning languages is not a very difficult task because I actually enjoy the process. I enjoy learning, and have a lot of fun when I learn. So, but for some people, this might not be the case. So it's completely fine if you don't like, but it is something. It is a tool. Back to this slide. It is a tool for you to extend your knowledge, to exchange ideas and culture with people who are not from your own country, and of course, form great relationships with people around the world. And ultimately, you can become global citizens. So that is some of my thoughts on the motivation and also the reasons, the benefits of language learning. And I hope that you understood something about my motivation already, and you also maybe relate to some of the reasons that I mentioned earlier. Okay. All right, so now it's the most exciting part. I'm going to share with you my language learning journey. Okay, so I'm going to share with you first and foremost this quote. Wait. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. And then I was surprised how terrible your speaking was. So I have to say this first. When I was in university, my major was English. My major was English because I was studying to become an English teacher. So my major was English. So everyone else would expect that my English is perfect. And at the same time, I was also the representative of the class, like the president of my class at the time. So everyone had even higher expectation for me at the time. They was very they were very curious about my English speaking abilities. And so this is something that a classmate told me in my 4th year. And she was talking about the first time she heard me speak English back in my 1st year. So it means that when I was in my 1st year, the teacher asked me to come on stage and introduce myself to the whole class. And my speaking, my accent was so terrible that my friend couldn't believe that I was her class president at the time. But this is something that she told me 4 years later. It meant that after 4 years, my English has improved, right? And it made me feel like my language learning, English learning was like a journey. And it took me 4 years to become better. Even though I was majored in English, my major was English, but I was not a very good English speaker at the time. And I believe that a lot of you here are also majoring in English, right? And somehow you're not very confident of your English speaking skills. And I want to say that I totally understand that, because it was me when I was in my college years. I was so frustrated because my English speaking was so bad. But I did find some solutions for my English, like to improve my English. And I'm going to share my solution for you right now. Okay, so this is my journey to English fluency. By using the word fluency, I'm talking about the speaking skills. Most of the time, the speaking skills, and also fluency. By fluency, I mean I started off as someone who already had some background in English. And then I try to improve it further to make me become a fluent speaker. Because if you are here and listen to what I'm saying right now, you know English already. You are already speaking English to some extent, to a certain level. But you might not be confident. You might not be very fluent And that might be the reason why you're not comfortable speaking to other people in some cases, right? So I'm going to share about my journey a little bit. So in my first year, because I knew that my English was so bad, I decided to take extra classes. I enrolled in an IELTS course, and I started watching a lot of YouTube videos. I didn't watch movies because I don't know why, but some people say that learning English through movies is a very good way for us to pick up vocabulary and also pick up slangs and communicative language in the movies. But it doesn't really work for me, so I didn't really use movies. But I watched a lot of vlogs on YouTube. I watched a lot of videos. I mean, vlogs. I don't watch TED Talks or anything like that. I just watch vlogs by real people sharing about random topics. And yeah, that was my first year. And on to the second year, I started. So the first year was like my input year. I didn't really speak except for when I was in the class. Outside of class, I didn't really speak because I was not very confident. So I didn't really speak. But I took extra classes and watched a lot of YouTube videos because I wanted to have some input, gain more vocabulary, and also learn more English knowledge before I can actually produce something. And then in my second year, I started to speak. I started to produce English, produce the language. And I started attend English clubs around Ho Chi Minh City, where I attended university. And then I even applied for a part-time job. Some part-time jobs that equipped me with a lot of opportunities to speak English. So to be more specific, I was working as teaching assistant at the time, and I helped foreign teachers in their teaching. Like I helped the foreign teacher in the class, so I had a lot of opportunities to speak English to them. And in my third year, I start to bring my English to the next level. I don't work in classes anymore. I don't attend English clubs anymore. I started to go on some volunteer programs, and Coach for College was one of them. I try to use English as much as possible because that is the only way I can improve it, right? And then in my fourth year, I want to, affirm myself about my English level. So I decided to take part in some contests, English contests and events, and I try to take and even after I graduated, I still maintain my English level. For some of you who are English majors, you might understand this. After you graduate, even though your major is English and you have to work with a job, you work in a job that involves a lot of English, but sometimes you don't have the opportunity to speak. For example, my job at the time, I was an English teacher. And even though I had to work with English a lot, but the amount of time I could speak English was really, really small. I didn't have a lot of time to speak English to my students because my students were young, and the way I use the language with them was also very simple. So I didn't really get that chance to speak a lot of English. And then the way I used to maintain my English learning is to take courses taught in English, whatever subject. And then I also practice self-talk. This is a really, really helpful technique, and I'm going to share with you about that technique later. But this is very, very helpful for me to maintain my English level. so that I can sit here and talk to you, even though I do make mistakes sometimes, but I think it's okay for you to understand. And here, some photos to share with you guys. So this is a photo of me in my first year when I was participating in an English club. That English club is located in a park, and every weekend we would go to that park and waited for some foreigners to pass by, and then we would invite them to talk with us, and we would share with them some Vietnamese cultures and I mean similar stuff, cultural stuff, and then they will also share with us their culture. So for example, the two ladies in this photo, this lady is from America and this lady is from the Philippines. They were traveling together and they were both English teachers. Like they worked in China at the time and they visited Vietnam. And yeah, I had a lot of fun speaking to them, even though my English was not really good, but speaking to a foreigner is a very good way to help me step out of my comfort zone, because they are foreigners, and when they talk to me, they didn't try to judge my English. They wouldn't judge my pronunciation or my accent. They just listened to what I was saying so that we could communicate, so that we could get the message across. So I was very happy to be talking with these people. And this is me getting the first prize in an English contest. It was the very first English contest that I participated in. And my English at that time was also not very good, even though I was already in my fourth year, I guess. But I decided to take part in this contest because I wanted to challenge myself a little bit. And I got the first prize. It was very surprising, but it gave me a lot of motivation and encouragement to move forward. And then after I graduated from university, I took a lot of online courses. I took courses on Coursera or on LinkedIn Learning. And these courses taught me different knowledge, different fields, different kinds of knowledge. But because they are taught in English, I could make use of the course content to learn English and expand my vocabulary. Because I had to listen to their lectures. I had to pay attention, which is similar to when I was in an English class. So this is extremely useful. And it also helps me enhance my knowledge, and also I can get some certificates, which is nice when I have to apply for scholarships or apply for jobs. They are especially useful. And then, so it was my journey in English learning. What about Chinese? So I think you already read about me in the post, right? In the introduction post from Edvice Hub. And they mentioned that I can also speak Chinese. And yeah, I also want to share with you something about my journey to Chinese fluency. So just to share a little bit about my Chinese background before this, I started learning Chinese back when I was in college. I was in my second year, I guess, because as an English major, I had to take courses in another foreign language so that I can graduate. It was one of the requirements for graduation. So I had to take that Chinese course. But I didn't really pay attention. I mean, I passed the courses, but I couldn't remember anything after I finished the course. And then after I graduated, I had so much time because I didn't plan to study for a higher degree immediately after I graduated. So I had a lot of time then because, yeah, and also I decided to take a gap year So I had a lot of time and I decided to pick up Chinese again. At that time, I almost forgot everything. But I don't know, but heaven sends me an app, and I only learned Chinese in the app. I used to use a lot of books to learn Chinese, but it didn't really work. I only used this app to learn Chinese. I'm going to share with you more about the app later, but it was the app that helped me become a fluent Chinese speaker like right now. And yeah, and I love music, so I listen to a lot of Chinese songs and sing Chinese, of course, to practice my pronunciation. And when I have a certain level of Chinese vocabulary, I started to watch a lot of TikTok videos. I don't really like the international version of TikToks, but I watch a lot of Douyin. Douyin is the name of the Chinese version of TikTok, and I watched a lot of it. Even though the videos are sometimes very nonsense, but since they are filmed, the videos are filmed by very normal people, ordinary people in their daily lives. I got to learn a lot of phrases that Chinese people would use in their daily life, which is really, really helpful for me when I speak Chinese. And when I can use those phrases, a lot of Chinese friends are very surprised. And then after I listened on Douyin, I started to practice with my language exchange partners. So the third step of this process happened when I was in my lockdown in COVID-19. It was very bad at the time, so I couldn't go out, I couldn't do anything, so I just stayed at home and I did nothing. And then my phone was my friend at the time, so I went to the app store and I found some very good apps for language exchange. And then I managed to find some very, very good Chinese friends who I am still in contact now. And I started to practice Chinese with them, and they are the ones who have helped me acquire my Chinese like what I'm having right now. So I'm very grateful for their help. And finally, when I am more confident of my Chinese, I start to make podcasts and videos. Even though making podcasts and videos are very tiring, it's a very exhausting process. But since you make videos and podcasts, you have to prepare a lot of content. You have to film the video, or you have to record your voice many, many times to get the perfect version you want. And that kind of repetition really helps with your speaking skills. And it was my case. I started with making podcasts. I made very short podcasts, like 5 or 6 minutes, and I talked about random things. And I was not very, confident with the podcast then, but I still decided to share the podcast with my friends on Facebook, on Instagram as well, and received feedback from them. And I improved myself from that kind of feedback. This is what I do for Chinese, but you can also do this for English. If you are not scared of getting feedback from people, you can do that. You can, create podcasts in English, and you can talk about anything, like your daily life, or a new gadget that you have just bought, or like how your day goes, anything, as long as it's English. And the process of making that podcast, that episode, is going to help you a lot with your speaking skills. Because you repeat a lot. You repeat when you write, you repeat when you practice, and you repeat when you record the video. I mean the audio as well. So it is a very good way to practice speaking. So I'm just going to share with you some photos, video calls. So I didn't share this, but this friend is from America, and she was in my volunteer program, the Coach for College program that I talked about earlier. And we still kept in touch after the program, and we video called very often. And that was how I learned English. How I practice speaking. I try to keep contact with my friends. It was not that I was trying to take advantage of my friends, but I mean, it was my purpose to keep in touch with them. And practicing English is just the outcome of that. And the second friend is from Russia, and this is a person that I knew when I was in China in a training program, and we still kept in touch after the program, and we video called and yeah, I mean, share things. And the third one, so you can see from her face, very Asian, right? She is Chinese, and she is a friend that I met online. We haven't met each other. I met her online, and we started talking, and we started exchange conversations on Weixin, on WeChat. And after that, we continued our friendship to the next level. We decided to video call, and then we became friends, and we are still friends now. And we still, I mean, regularly share updates about our lives to the other person. And yeah, we're still friends. And yeah, I mean, and there's one more way I want to share about my Chinese learning journey. So these are some opportunities that I find I can find online myself, but you can also apply for online courses and scholarships so that you can study in a traditional Chinese classrooms. And there are a lot of scholarships for you to apply for, because Chinese universities, they are very welcoming. They really want to improve their international collaborations, and they want a lot of international students. So they offer a lot of scholarships for international students. And I think there are a lot of scholarships today that you can study online. But there are also scholarships where you can go to China and study, and this is one of them. So this was the scholarship I received from Center for Language Education and Cooperation, and I received this scholarship from Chongqing Daxue, Chongqing University, and it is for 1 academic year, but I cannot go because China hasn't opened its border. All right. Yeah. And the final thing I want to share with you about my Chinese learning journey is my vlog. So this is something I made after I became quite fluent in Chinese already. And after I made the podcast. So after I made the podcast, because making podcasts, you can write the script and you can practice and then you record, right? But for this video, I didn't prepare anything. I was trying to practice my ability to improvise and my ability to speak live, I guess. I don't know how to express that, but basically I didn't write anything. I just speak. And in this video, I was trying to share something about my life, and I also tried to practice my reading skills because in Chinese, reading is a very difficult skill because you have to read Chinese characters. But I'm just going to show you the like the first part of the video.
今天想录这个视频，因为想跟大家分享一下我中文最近学的怎么样。其实也很久没有就是很认真的学中文了。因为工作太忙，然后在那个软件里面的内容我也学完了，所以现在每天只在那里复习10分钟，然后就不怎么学中文了，因为现在也开始学韩语，所以就没有那么多时间去学中文了。
Okay, I think that's enough. So I was sharing about the fact that I stopped learning Chinese for a while. I mean, I stopped practicing Chinese frequently for a while. And yeah, I mean, it was just a short video I made to practice my Chinese speaking. And of course, you can also do this, use this method for your English learning as well. Okay, and that was the third part of my webinar today. So I talked about my journey. I mean, like my journey along with some methods that I used in my learning process. So next, I am going to share with you some tools that I use. I talked about the method, and now I will talk about the tools that we can use to learn English and also Chinese. Okay, but before I share my tools, I want you to think about the tools that you are using. Some apps and some websites that you are using to learn languages. Yeah, I mean, any kind of tool, app or website or software, anything. I prefer digital tools, so please send me a name of a digital tool and maybe I know what it is. So please use the chat box and interact with me by sharing some what app and website that you are using to learn languages. Well, you are much prettier now. Not sure because this is Zoom and maybe the Zoom application has touched up my appearance. So I look prettier, but maybe I don't look that pretty when you see me in person. Podcast, Clubhouse. Wow, I love Clubhouse. Hello, Discord, nice. BBC Learning English. Anything else? We can learn from each other. Busu, I don't know how to pronounce that. Busu, yeah, like a language learning app. And Duolingo. Hello. Coursera. Yeah, they do have language courses. Elsa Speak. Yeah. British Council app. Elsa, right? A fun fact for you, Elsa is an American startup, but the founder of Elsa is a Vietnamese. So I'm very proud of Vietnamese people. edX, Hello Chinese, Hanging Light. Wow, this is the first time. Oops, sorry. This is the first time I hear something Hanging Light apps. Oh, if possible, you can share maybe later. 6 minutes English. Yeah, I love that. I love that. It's a long time ago. It must be around 10 years already, right? 6 minutes English from BBC Learning English. Any other tools, any other channels or websites or apps you are using? Please share so that we can learn from each other. Cake. Yeah, this is very useful for learning slangs and maybe some phrases that we use in our daily life. hang ping. Oh, okay, it's not hanging, but hang ping light. Oh, nice. Thank you. Very useful. Some of them I'm not very familiar with. English 101. Oh, this is like a service learning. Like they provide English courses, right? Double Chinese. Double cheese cake. Double cheese. Cake is an app for language learning, for English learning. English with Lucy. Yeah, I love her. She speaks beautiful British accent, and she also has very useful lessons for English learners. Very, very, and she's also very beautiful. Okay, thank you for sharing. I think that's it for the interactive activity, and I am so happy that you guys interact with my questions. And now I'm going to share with you some tools that I use when I learn Chinese, and some of them might be familiar to you and some of them might be not. But after I finish my sharing, I will do a demonstration. I mean, I'm going to show you the apps in my phone, how it works, and maybe you can use it for your study as well. Okay. TikTok. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, a lot of TikTok videos. I mean, TikTok creators make videos for us to learn languages. And they are short, but very useful, right? Okay, it's my turn. I'm going to share with you my language learning tools. So I'm going to talk about Chinese first and then English later. Okay, so here are some digital tools for learning Chinese. There are actually a lot of tools, but I am talking about these 6 tools because they are the one I use the most. I know other tools, but I don't use them often, so I'm not going to share about them. So Super Chinese is the magical app that I was talking about earlier. When I didn't know how to study Chinese because I forgot everything, I bought a lot of books. I bought, 4 or 5 books at a time, but I couldn't really use the books because it was not my learning style. I couldn't learn with textbooks. So I found this app. At the time, Super Chinese was just founded. It was a new app at the time. And I started using it until now. It's been a few years already. 2 years already, 3 years, I guess. And I still love it a lot. It helps me to reach my Chinese level now. I am very grateful for the creators of this app. And then Super Test is the app that I use to practice for my HSK 汉语水平考试 HSK exam test. And yeah, it really helps with test preparation. Tandem is an app that I use to make friends. So on Tandem, you can say what language you can speak and what language you want to learn. And the app will recommend friends for you. For example, you can speak Burmese and you want to learn English. So the app will recommend English speaker who want to learn Burmese so that you guys can exchange the language together. So for me, in my case, I say I can speak English and Vietnamese. So if you are a Chinese speaker and you want to learn either English or Vietnamese, you can find me. And yeah, that's how it works. And I managed to make a lot of Chinese friends there. That is Tandem. And then Line Dictionary is the one that I use to check dictionary. There's actually another dictionary called Hanzi, but this one originates from a Vietnamese creator. So I think there is an English version already. You can check it. And it is also my favorite app for Chinese dictionary. And then the next app is Du Chinese. Du means read in English. So this app is basically a lot of Chinese text for you to practice reading, but it's very it divides the text into levels. And finally, it's the Douyin app. I can listen to authentic videos and learn Chinese from the app. Okay. Oh, let me go back to Super Chinese a little bit because I forgot to mention this. So Super Chinese has an AI powered feature that allows you to practice your pronunciation. It has AI speech recognition. It will compare your speech to a native speech, a native speaker speech, and then it will give you a score. By practicing speaking out loud the phrase, you will become more fluent. I mean, you will be more comfortable with your mouth when you speak. And yeah, that's how I love it. And next, I'm going to talk about some tools for learning English. And for English, of course, Elsa, because I was talking about AI-powered feature, an AI-powered feature, speech recognition, right? And Elsa also used the same technology, but for English. I will show you later, like how it works. But basically, it's you will say something, and it will compare your speech to a native speaker speech and see how many percent you are, how native you are. Yeah. And then Free for Talk is a website for you to find English partners and to practice speaking. I will show that later. Cambridge Speak and Improve is a tool developed by Cambridge University for you to practice speaking, and it also offers you a lot of, assessment as well. When you speak, it will analyze what you say and give you a score or maybe tips for improvement, something like that. I haven't used it for a long time, so I'm not sure how good it is now, but it is something that you can try. And then Language Reactor and Glot Dozo, they are tools for us to watch videos and learn English or any other language at the same time. You can watch a video with dual subtitles, 2 subtitles at the same time. So you can, if you don't understand English, you can also look at the lower subtitles. For example, Vietnamese. When I watch videos, I turn on the English and I also turn on the Vietnamese subtitles so that I can learn some new words on the English subtitle. And then Memrise. Memrise is an app I use for learning vocabulary, and I will also show you how it works later. And then Blinkist is an app and also a website for me to practice my reading every day. I read on Blinkist every day for more than 200 days already. I'm going to share with you about that achievement later. And then Quillbot is a tool for you to practice writing, because, for example, if you are taking the IELTS test, you know that IELTS requires a lot of paraphrasing, not just in writing, but also in speaking, listening, and reading. Paraphrases are everywhere, especially in writing. You are required to paraphrase a lot. And Quillbot is a tool to teach you a lot of useful paraphrase you can use in your writing practice. And then Write and Improve is also, a friend of Speak and Improve, and it is also developed by Cambridge University. Yeah, it is a tool for you to practice writing. It has a lot of questions there, and you can go there and pick a question and practice writing. And the AI technology is going to analyze your writing and give you some feedback. So for Speak and Improve and Write and Improve, you are going to work with a machine, not a human. But it's also very interesting because AI is very intelligent now, right? And Superlingo and Lingo Charm, I think you heard me mention Super Chinese in this slide, right? And Superlingo is an app that is developed by exactly the same company, but it has English language programs. So this is especially useful for beginners or elementary English learners because they teach English from, very basic levels. And they also have communicative and conversational language for you to learn. Lingo Charm is also, basically the same. So if you the way I learned Chinese, you can try these two apps, Superlingo and Lingo Charm. But Lingo Charm is, the content of Lingo Charm is maybe also suitable for intermediate or advanced learners because they have very high quality content. Okay, and let me go back to this logo, Sunday Talk. I want to talk about Sunday Talk last because it is not actually an app. It is not a website either because it is my project. Because I want to create an environment for people who want to learn English, who want to practice English speaking like me. To practice English, I create this Sunday Talk, and we organize weekly session for anyone who wants to practice their English speaking skills. They can come and practice with us, but our sessions are facilitated. So I mentioned AI a lot, but for Sunday Talk, you are going to speak with humans, and those humans include me. And Free for Talk is the same. You can also find language partners there, but the sessions on Free for Talk are not facilitated, which means no one is going to guide you through. You have to speak yourself. You have to find a topic and talk and practice yourself. So it's more like a passive. It's more active. And if you are an active learner, you can try Free for Talk. Okay, so it was a brief introduction, and now it's time for me to go through the apps in action so that you can see them. Okay, so wait for like 15 seconds before I share another screen. So now maybe this 10 seconds, 20 seconds is for you to think about questions. And later you can ask me any questions you like. Okay, I'm going to share another screen. Okay. Sorry for letting you wait, but I have to set things up. Okay. So I am using Google Meet so that I can share with you my my screen. Okay. All right. Okay, I hope that you can see my phone screen. Yep. And this is my phone screen, and I'm going to show you some of the apps that I use on my phone. Okay. All right. So I think this is clearer, right? Okay, so I am going to use Super Chinese first. And on Super Chinese, there are a lot of topics. I think I have finished all of them. I'm still waiting for more levels, but they are currently stopping at level 7. So I have to wait for more levels. But actually, they have a lot of levels. they have pinyin, the pronunciation lesson for you, and they have, I mean, a lot of levels. Okay, so let's just look at level 7 and just pick a random lesson. Okay. Okay, for example, this one, renting experience. Okay, and just start a lesson. Okay, so in every lesson, you are going to have vocabulary and then grammar. And what I like about this is that you have the option to, you have the option to practice your pronunciation by saying the word, and the app will give you feedback. Because I am on the call right now, so I cannot try this feature, but you can try it yourself by downloading this app. And I don't think I can do you can try it yourself. And there is a new function of Super Chinese, that is the talk function. And here you can be matched with a random person who is also learning Chinese on this app. And oops, sorry. Yeah, thank you, Win, for the comment. Watch a lot dramas and series. I agree, but I don't really have time for that, so I use very traditional method. Okay, so you can see on my screen there are a lot of people online, and when I click on random match, they will match me with a random person, and we can practice speaking. And I can also go to this to see what other people are practicing. Yeah, they are practicing. For example, they are playing game. Word guess 猜词语. They are playing the guessing game. The room is closed. Yeah, but basically this is how it works. And there are a lot more functions that you can explore. Okay. And that is Super Chinese. And we also have Super Test. It's like for test prep. So I'm not going to show that to you guys. And Tandem, sorry. I logged out of Tandem, so I cannot show you guys how it works, but maybe you can taste it yourself. Basically, it's for you to make international friends who want to learn language. Sorry, my bad. Okay, what else? Okay, 读 Chinese. So this is for me to practice my reading skills. So for example, I want to read something simple. I am going to pick in elementary level as well. Let me see if, okay. So for example, this one, who killed him? And I'm going to read this book. So what is interesting about this app is that it has the pinyin on top of the word that you can refer to when you learn vocabulary. And when you tap on the word, you can also see the meaning of it on top of the screen. 分钟, and then 椅子. And they also have the audio to play. Okay, so that's how it works. And you can also save the vocabulary so that you can review later. So here are some vocabulary that I saved. I don't save a lot of words because I haven't used this for a long time. Where is my word list? Here. So I can review the words. Okay, so that's 读 Chinese and the line dictionary. And for English learners, you can try the Elsa's, the Superlingo app. Superlingo is similar to Super Chinese, but it has the English language. And for Elsa, it's a great tool for you to practice your pronunciation. I think a lot of you know this one already. So maybe I'll just maybe do a little bit of trying here. But I don't think I can try because I am on a call. So my phone would not let me use the microphone. True, I cannot. Yeah, I cannot do that, sorry. Yeah, but it's for practicing pronunciation. And there are a lot of topics for you to practice. For example, if you are working at a restaurant, you can use this topic so that you familiarize yourself with some phrases that we often use when we talk to customers in a restaurant. And call centers, software engineering, a lot of topics that we can use. Anything else? B2 is also a good app, but I think it's not available for foreign users, only for Vietnamese users, I guess. So, for example, they have this topic and we can choose either to listen or talk. If we talk, we have to pay some money so that we can practice with a group of friends and also maybe some native speakers there. And yeah, that's it. I also have some other apps, but maybe I don't have time to show you guys. Let me see if there's any other one. Maybe not. Okay. Let me go back to my slide for a while. Memorize Superlingo for talk. Okay. I think that's for the app on my phone. So that's it. Let's go back to the sorry, I can't find. All right, so I have to leave this call. Leave this call. Okay. All right, so that's it for the app demonstration. I think for the app, it's very difficult for me to do a demonstration because it's on my phone and you can download the app, you can install the app on your phone and experience yourself. Some of them are free and some of them are paid, but you can also use some of it, some of their free functions. And this is the Free for Talk website that I was talking about earlier. So this is like a language community for any language. For example, you want to learn Vietnamese, you can come here to practice Vietnamese. If you want to learn English, you can go here to practice with these two people. I don't know who they are. You want to learn Hindi, you can also come here to practice with these two people. And this is a room for Vietnamese and I don't know. And I don't know what language is this. Is this Burmese? No, it's Telugu something. I'm trying to find Spanish, Arabic, a lot of English rooms, right? Any level. And they also have a topic, bad experience in social media. You can join and talk to them, right? Polish, a lot of language that I haven't heard about. Japanese, and also I don't see any Chinese room. Why? But maybe when you go to this, you can see a Chinese room later. And when you sign up, become a member, you can create a room yourself and wait for others to join. It is really, really helpful. And that is Free for Talk. Okay, and next I'm going to talk about two tools that I use when I watch videos. And I mean, I can learn language by watching the videos. So I prepared this example for you, a video from The Ellen Show. And when I turn
every place in the world.
Sorry. And when I turn on this, this extension is called Glot Dozo. Glot Glot Dojo. It's an extension for you to watch 2 subtitles at the same time, and you can also learn language through the subtitles. And if there is not a subtitle available, you can also use the translation function, and it will automatically translate the subtitle. Even though the subtitle is automatic, you can also ask this extension to translate from your target language to your own language so that you can understand. But here I am using the English and Vietnamese. I don't use the quick translation because I think this video already has the Vietnamese translation. Okay, and it's interesting because when I hover over any word here, I can see the meaning. For example, identify, and I will see the Vietnamese meaning of this word. And yeah, I mean, when I watch videos, I can watch 2 subtitles at the same time.
World, and he's only 5 years old, from Stratford, Connecticut. Please welcome Nate Seltzer. You memorized the entire globe, right?
Uh-huh.
Do you have a favorite state in the United States?
Yes.
What is it?
Missouri.
Oh, Missouri.
Sorry that I use Vietnamese, so maybe I can change to Burmese, I guess. Is there a Burmese? Here. Okay, so let's see how it works with Burmese.
Missouri. Why is that?
Because it starts with an M.
So does Montana.
In Michigan,
And-
in Massachusetts,
and
in
Maryland.
Not
in
sure if
Maine,
you
And,
understand.
yeah, but still you chose
Minnesota.
And yeah. Anything else?
uh,
Mississippi. But so how come Missouri? You just like it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to question anymore. Here's some maps that you drew. Tell me about these maps right here, okay?
First, let's do this one.
Okay, which one?
Okay. Do you guys, I mean, I don't know if this subtitle is written by human or it's machine translation, but I hope that for the Burmese speakers in this room today, you can understand what I'm showing on my screen. I cannot understand Burmese, so yeah. Do you guys understand like the lower subtitle here? Hello? Hello, my Burmese friends. Do you guys understand?
Yes, we can understand.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Yeah, because I am just afraid that the translation is not accurate and you cannot understand it. But if it's accurate, then this tool is a very useful one. And okay. Okay, and there are a lot of settings. You can choose the language, choose the subtitle, choose the translation, the quick translation like this. I'm using Vietnamese, but you can also choose Burmese for your use, and you can change the color. And if you're learning Chinese, you can. Oh, if you learn English, you can ask the app, the Glot Dojo, to show the pronunciation for you right here. Very, very useful IPA. And if you're learning Chinese, you can ask the extension here to show you the pinyin so that you can, read the words, right? Nice. Yeah. Try it yourself. Install the extension in your browser, and then you can enjoy videos on YouTube and on any streaming platform. You can also do this on Netflix, because I cannot share Netflix videos, so I cannot show you guys, but it worked exactly the same on Netflix. And for language reactor, I should turn this off and turn this on. It works exactly the same way.
First?
This one?
No.
No.
That was not a map.
That's not a map, no, that's a house.
Yes.
That's really sweet.
That's Universal Studio.
Yeah, so this one, language reactor and Glot Dojo, they are basically the same, but maybe language reactor has some functions that, Glot Dojo has some functions that language reactor doesn't have. And for language reactor, there are some functions that you have to pay. And the same for Glot Dojo. So I mean, when you install the two of them, you can use them interchangeably. I mean, sometimes you can use language reactor and sometimes you can use Glot Dojo because some of the functions are not free. So you can like complement them and use them together. And next, I'm going to share about Memrise, my favorite vocabulary learning platform. I am learning my HSK5 vocabulary on this app, on this website, and I'm going to finish. I have to learn like 200 words in order to finish the course. And for example, and the other courses here are the courses that I created myself for my students, because I teach English. So I also ask my students to learn English vocabulary. And so this is a word list that my students and I create together. So, but I think we can see how it worked first. So this is how Memrise works. So when you have a word list already, you can start learning. But I should show you guys how we make the word list. Okay, so I create a Google Sheet for my students, and my students will fill in the words that they want to learn, because when they study English themselves, they will encounter a lot of new words. And I ask them to put their words in the Google Sheet like this, like the English, Vietnamese, an example, part of speech, so that I can input this one into Memrise. And I will show you how to input that as well. So, okay. Sorry. All right, and this is how I input the word. So yeah, I divide the course into different levels, different time zone, different months. So May 2022 are the words that my students collected in May 2022. And when I copy the words from the list, oops, sorry, it does not appear. Let's wait for, okay, here. Okay, so you can see, so this is the word list. I don't know how, I cannot scroll, but basically this is how it works. I just copy, add words, and I just copy and paste everything from the Google Sheets, and it will automatically create this word list on Memrise. And after I have the word list, I will, yeah, after we input the words into the list, we can start learning by this one. Okay, let's try. Okay,
license.
So when we learn on Memrise, everything that we input is here. The English, the Vietnamese, the example, the part of speech, and also the audio. And then
identification.
Yeah, and then we have typing test, license.
License.
And we have typing test, and we have multiple choice identification.
Identification. Yeah. Deposit.
Yeah, and just keep learning. And it is amazing because it used a very popular theory called the spaced repetition. And it helps us learn vocabulary in an effortless way. All right, so that is how it's spelled. Spaced repetition. It means it will automatically remind you remind you when you should review a word. Maybe after 1 day, after 2 days, after a week, after a few months, it will automatically remind you to review the words that you have learned a long time ago, so that you won't forget it. And this is also available on your phone. So you can create a course on your laptop and then use your phone to learn the content that you created. There are a lot of courses that are created by other people. You can also use their course, and you can also create a course yourself. Okay, so that is it for memorize, and I hope that you guys understand how to use it to learn vocabulary. And then next, I'm going to talk about Blinkist. So Blinkist is a website that I use to practice my reading, but the way I use Blinkist is very different. I use Blinkist because I want to practice my pronunciation. So every day, Blinkist will give you a free book. So Blinkist is a website that offers summaries of books. So you don't have to read the whole book. You just have to read like 10 pages, but you can understand the key ideas of the whole book. Okay. So for example, this is the Lemonade Life. And it has, okay, so the book has, let me see, like 5 pages already. 5 pages only. And then after you finish reading, you will have a final summary that summarizes everything that you have read. But the way I use this Blinkist is very different. So every morning I would go to an app called On Mic, and I will try to read aloud the words in the book and let other people listen to what I read. Because when I read aloud, I can focus better. I don't like reading, so it's very difficult for me to focus when I read. So the way I used to pay attention is to read aloud everything. And when I read aloud this book, I can focus better, and I can also practice my pronunciation. And usually after I finish reading, I will stay for like 5 minutes and do a short reflection on the content of the book. For example, this book about Lemonade Life is really interesting. It's about how we should step out of our comfort zone and be creative, be innovative in our life. And I can say something about my life's innovation and also creativity in my life, like try to connect the content of the book with my life. And it is also a very good way for me to practice my speaking. And that's how I practice my English every day, because at the moment, my job doesn't really involve a lot of English speaking. I don't speak English. So by reading aloud books on Blinkist and do a reflection afterwards, even though it's just self-talk, like speaking to myself, I am able to like exercise my mouth when I practice English and also improve my English fluency. Yeah, and that's it for Blinkist. And finally, I want to share with you guys a tool for paraphrasing, Quillbot, that I mentioned earlier. So for Quillbot, what it does is to paraphrase what you put there. So for example, I will copy this one. Oh, can you see this one? It's Glot Dojo. I don't know how to pronounce Glot Dojo. And it will try to translate. Okay, let me try. It doesn't work. Usually it will translate what I select, but it's not working now. Just ignore it. I will try copying this one and put it in Quillbot and let it paraphrase. Okay, so they would try to change some words in this text into something different. And sometimes they even change the grammar, and it is going to help you learn some ways to paraphrase. So for example, instead of using the word split, we can use divide. Came up with different solutions. We can use had different ideas, something like that. And if we are not satisfied, we can choose another way to paraphrase. here. Rephrase. They have different paraphrases for us to choose from. This is very helpful for IELTS test takers when they practice for IELTS writing and they don't and they are stuck in paraphrasing. Okay, so I think that's it for the tools. I want to do more demonstration, but because I don't have enough time, so I'll just pick some and let you guys see how we can use some digital tools for English learning and also Chinese. Okay, here comes my final part, my persistence. So I think what I said earlier was not very, very new to some of you. The tools I mentioned, the methods I use, and also the tips that I presented, they were not very new, right? Some like other people already mentioned them. But what is the difference in my story? I'll show you now. So when I did when I read the registration form that Wint sent me, I saw that a lot of you guys understand the importance of like practice when we learn a foreign language. And that's right, because practice is the only way we can become fluent in a language. But what are other things that we can consider? Except for practice, I think practice is the only way we can, the only way we can make use of to practice, to improve but our English or our languages. But what I want to show you is that practice is easy, but maintaining the habit of practicing is much, much more difficult. And that's what I have been doing for the past years to become who I am today. To become fluent in the languages that I want to acquire. And I want to show you some achievements, some of my personal achievements that I am very, very proud of. So when I learn a language, I don't think the method or the tool we use matter much. The things that are really, the things that really, really matter is how persistent, how consistent we are in our learning process. Maybe you don't have a lot of time. I don't have a lot of time. I have to work like 9 hours a day, and I don't really have time for learning, for go to classes or to, sit in front of the computer and take classes like I was a few months ago. But I have these apps and I have these companions that help me to become more disciplined and also persistent in my language learning journey. So I'm going to talk about each photo. So the first one is the show that I was talking about earlier. So every morning at around 7 a.m., I would open this app on mic here, and then I will open a show, open a room. It's similar to the Free for Talk room. And then I will open Blinkist and I will read aloud a book on Blinkist. And after that, I can do a short reflection as well. And I have been doing that for 203 days. Today is my 203rd day already. And then this one is my daily streak for Super Chinese. I have been learning Chinese continuously for 1,092 days. There are some days I didn't really finish my goals and I had to use the coins to make up for that. But I didn't really I didn't do that very often. I mean, I still try to learn for 10 minutes a day, and for at least 10 minutes a day, and for 1,092 days, and still counting. And for my, this is my memorize. I have learned on memorize, I mean, for a few years already, and I have learned 6,590 words on memorize, including Chinese and English. And finally, so I haven't shared with you guys this, but I'm actually learning Korean on Duolingo, and I have learned Korean for 196 days already. But I still cannot speak Korean because I only spend like 5 minutes. But I do agree that even 5 minutes, even 2 minutes, even 1 minute a day can make a difference, as long as you do it every day. And by using these apps help me count the days. And when I look at these numbers, I feel very, very motivated. And of course, the next day, I will try to study and try to make that number become a bigger number. I want to make this number to 2,000, or maybe I want to read for maybe a whole year continuously, daily. And these numbers are my motivations. And maybe this method, I mean, this tip can also work for you guys. If you do something for many days continuously, you will see a difference in your own abilities and also in your own motivation. And some people say that when you do something for 21 days, it will become your habit. So when you look at my numbers, you can see that I do things for longer than 21 days. So they have become my habit. It means that I don't feel tired when I learn Chinese or English or Korean, because they have become a part of my life, my habits, and I can just open my phone and do that. It's like something I have to do every day. It's like cleaning my teeth and having meals. I have to do these activities every day, even though for just like not even 5 minutes, like 3 or 4 minutes, but I still do that, and I can make progress, even though very, very slowly. I can make very, very slow progress, but it's okay, because I know as long as I make progress, I'll just continue to do that. And there's another tip I want to share. So when you see these numbers, you feel like I have tried a lot, right? I have tried a lot to keep these numbers, but actually I am not trying. I haven't really tried a lot because I have a lot of accountability partners. So let me explain to you what are accountability partners. So accountability partners are people who keep you accountable, who keep you responsible for what you have to do, what you have to accomplish. For example, when I learned Chinese, I asked a friend of mine to learn with me. And you can see that she also used Chinese with me when we text on Facebook. And every day when we finish our goals, we will send a screenshot of our phone, like this session has been finished, and send the screenshot to the other person. And we have been doing this for years. So you can see this is the history of our conversation. There are a lot of screenshots of Super Chinese. So we have been doing this for, I mean, nearly a year already. And I think I helped her, and she also helped me, because we know that somebody is waiting for our screenshot every day, and we have to do this or we will lose face. So I think they are my accountability. She is my accountability partner, and she really helped me with my discipline. And I do the same thing for my students. I add my students into a Facebook group, And I asked them to learn vocabulary on Memrise. And I asked them to send screenshots of their Memrise. Some of them learn on their computer, some of them learn on their phones, but they send screenshots after they finish their learning. And you can see on the history of the conversation, all screenshots. So this group is specifically designed for Memrise only. So like every day they have to learn and send the screenshots. And if they don't do that, they will have to pay a price. So that is how I keep my student accountable for their learning. And yeah, that's it. That's what I want to say about accountability partners, people who help you grow, who grow with you, and people who help you become better in your language learning. And okay, because I prepared something to share. Yeah. So when you learn something, or when you take a course, when you apply for a scholarship, or when you do something that you think might be a little too difficult for you, you are not confident to share it with other people because you're afraid that when you fail, they will laugh at you, right? That was exactly what I thought just a few years ago when I was a college student. I care about what others thought about me a lot. And when I learned something, I learned it in silence. I didn't want anyone to know, because one of my teachers told me that work hard in silence and let success make the noise. But I don't really agree with that, because if I work hard in silence and I stop working, nobody is going to know that I stopped working, and I'm not going to succeed. I fail, right? Even though nobody know I fail, but indeed I fail. And that is not a good way to encourage me. Personally, maybe it would work for you or not, but personally, when I do something, I want to make noise. I want to be loud. I want to let other people know that I'm doing this. Because when I know that somebody is accountable for me, but that person should be someone you trust. You should not pick somebody you don't really know well, but someone you trust, and you are willing to share with them what you do. But actually, everyone has their own business. Even though I share with my friends, or my students share with each other their learning, their screenshots, but not really. Not everyone actually cares about the other. We don't really check, we don't really care, but it is something that we can do together to help each other improve. And the most important thing is that by telling other people what you're doing, you can be motivated, because you know that someone is waiting for your screenshot. And yeah, so my advice is don't afraid to be loud. Don't afraid to be loud. Just be loud to tell everyone, okay, I'm learning English, I'm learning Chinese, I'm applying for this scholarship. Please help me. I'm applying for this scholarship. Is there anyone who has applied for this one in the past? Can you help me review my essay? Something like that. Why not use our connections, right? And but that's another story. The most important thing is that finding accountability partners and people who can help us see our progress is really important in language learning. And my favorite quote is that success isn't always about greatness. It's about consistency. Consistent hard work leads to success, and then greatness will come. And that's it. Thank you so much for listening to my sharing. So this is information, and you can get in touch in case you have any questions. Of course, you can ask me questions now, I will answer it live, but if you're not comfortable, I will show that slide later for you to maybe get some information about me or maybe about my learning methods. Okay.
Okay, there is one question in the chat box.
Okay. How can we measure and track our study time? I think you're talking about this slide. So this is the tracking is all done by the apps that I'm using. I don't do that. All the things that I do are because technology really helps me in this aspect. I don't track anything because I'm lazy. I don't have time to write a board and then, to write a table with a lot of check boxes and I tick one box a day. No, I don't do that. So all of the things here are what the apps do for me. It counts how much time I spend on the app and it counts the number of days that I learn continuously. Thank you for the words in the comments. I really like your templates. Yeah, it's not my template. It's a template that I took somewhere else right here. So this presentation template was created by SlideGo. So you can go here and see if there's any interesting, beautiful, attractive templates you can use. And this QR code is the link to my Padlet. You can scan this code and leave a comment, feedback, or anything there for me. If you think my session is helpful, you can also leave me some comments so that I can be more motivated to deliver some other sessions tomorrow. Oh, sorry, not tomorrow, but later. No, I don't use premium version. For what? For what? Sorry, for SlideGo or for the app? I do use I do pay for some apps. For let me see. For Super Chinese, I pay for Super Chinese, but not for Memrise and Duolingo. I only pay for Super Chinese. I am the VIP member of Super Chinese, because on Super Chinese, if you don't pay, it's very difficult for you to learn because the content is very limited, but it's not expensive. Right now, you can pay at a very, very low price. It's the summer discount, something promotion. There's a promotion program for the summer, and you can pay for a 1-year course, a 1-year program, at only $20, no, $25, $30, I guess. Very cheap for a year of learning Chinese. Elsa, yeah, my Elsa is premium, but it's also very cheap. When I bought it, I don't remember the price, but I bought the lifetime version and it's not very expensive. But I think on Elsa, you can use it for free because there are a lot of free courses there, free content there. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the comments. Again, do you have any other questions? You can also raise your hand and talk to me. I haven't talked to you guys. I have been, self-talking for the past 2 hours. So can anybody just maybe raise their hand, turn on their microphone and talk to me for a while? For me, I am weak in spelling because of using autocorrect. Yeah, I understand that. How do I pronounce your name? Na, N-A-W. So in this case, I think Memrise is perfect because do you remember the demo I had a few minutes ago for Memrise? I did a demonstration on how I use Memrise, and there was typing tests, and it really helped with with spelling practice. Any question? How should I improve for my typing speed? Text with your friends every day. I mean, you can go to Tandem and find a language partner and then try to text with them every day. It can help with your typing test in English. Maybe sometimes our language, for example, when I study Korean, they use a different alphabet. So it's very hard for me to learn typing as well. So the only way is to do that as much as possible. And when we find a person to chat with us in the target language, we have more motivation to type. Because when you practice typing for yourself, it's very boring. But you know that you are talking to someone and they are waiting for your messages. You can be more motivated to type. Is there any useful software website? If for English, I think the only way is to chat with friends or whoever you wanna talk to in English, or maybe find a language partner like I mentioned earlier. Is there any other questions? Should we plan in calendar? I cannot say should or shouldn't because I don't do this. Google Calendar is like a tool for me to schedule my work only. And for my study, I don't really do that because I mean, I do that every day. And I have timing for it. Like I would read a book on Blinkist in the morning. And then I would learn Korean on Duolingo afterwards. And after I get off from work, I will learn some Chinese and like learn vocabulary on Memrise. Like I try to finish everything before midnight so that it can count my daily streak. I don't think I have a plan on Google Calendar. Yeah, but maybe you can try that if you struggle with time management. I don't do that because I can still keep track of my timing when I study. Oh, Pomodoro technique. Yeah, the tomato Pomodoro technique is very useful for improving concentration. But I have to admit that I am not good at concentrating as well. I also use the Pomodoro technique, and there is a website for you guys to use the Pomodoro technique with your friends. It's called Cuckoo. Let me check the spelling. Cuckoo. Let me see. Okay. So there is this website that we can use to, oh, sorry. Okay, we can use this website to focus with our friends. You can invite your friends to the same room and you can see the timer together. It's very interesting to work with other people using the Pomodoro technique. Cuckoo.team. Any tips for academic studies online? Currently, I want to prepare for my final year assignment writings. I think if you have to write in English, you can take a course on academic writing. I think I can show you on my, okay. Let me, edX academic writing. I think there's a very useful course on edX. It's called academic writing. I think it's this course. You can enroll in this course and maybe learn some some tips for academic writing. edX is like Coursera, but it has courses mostly for academic studies. So maybe it's useful for you when you want to learn, when to study academic something. I think this is not the course that I look for, but academic writing made easy. Maybe it's also a useful course. Academic English. Yeah, I mean, just check it out and see if it suits your needs. edX.org. Is there useful tools for practicing and improving academic and storytelling writing? Yeah, I mean, taking courses on this site, and for, I think, Write and Improve, I think this one is good for practicing. Let me sign it. Okay. Okay, so here you can practice storytelling, and the AI, the machine will help you analyze your writing and see how well you do. And if you are a more advanced learner, you can try something longer, like 100 words, or this one, advanced level, 220 or 260 words. Write a proposal, a review, an email, anything. And you can also practice for IELTS right here. A lot of, I mean, writing for you to practice on Write and Improve. This is developed by Cambridge University, so it is very reliable. And please try to see if it works for you. How should we effectively organize our studying materials or folders? I'm sorry, I cannot answer this question because I am a disorganized person. I'm sorry, I am very disorganized, and I organize everything on my laptop, but it's not very organized as well. So my tip is to use the naming. I mean, because I am not very organized, so I struggle a lot when I have to find something. So my tip is that when I download something on the internet and I want to save it, I have to give it a very unique name, and a name that helps me remember what the file is about. And the next time I want to find it, I will just use the search function on my computer. And I don't have to, I mean, organize them into very, very many folders. I mean, I'm not an organized person, sorry. Yeah. Thank you. Share, where can we effectively prepare our CV, resume? This is a nice question. Nice question, because I struggle when I write my CV as well. And I think there's a website that I use and I find very helpful for people who are not very good at writing resumes like me. So the website that I use is resume.com. Okay, let me see if I still remember. Okay, it has a resume builder. So if you want a beautiful design, you can design later in Canva. But if you care more about the content, you can use this one because it helps to, okay, this is my CV, my resume. All right. Let me start with the, for example, this one. Okay, so when I talk about my English club for humans of long time, this is my English club. And when I want to talk about the description, this is the most exhausting part, right? So this resume.com website helped me a lot because whenever I want to write something, it will give me a lot of recommendations. And I can just click the plus and then edit this content so that I can have like a good description that fits my job description. Is there any other? Let me see. Okay, I'll just create a new one. Okay, for example, school teacher. Okay, so when I type the teacher as my job title, you will see that there are a lot of examples for me to see and pick, even though some of them are not my real job description, but I can still refer to them and make some edits so that I can have a good description for myself. For example, create detailed lesson plans. Yeah, very nice, right? I think this sentence, this phrase, this bullet point exactly describes what I did. So I just keep it and move on with another one. Train and supervise 10 teachers. Yeah, organize and plan trips for students. Very helpful, right? And let me change the job role, for example, project manager. And I will see other suggestions. Very helpful. Okay. Yeah. I can search leader, and they will bring a lot of examples for me. Or marketing. Yeah. Led a team to advance new marketing practices. Yeah. So this is resume.com, and it is a great tool for you to write the description part of your resume. Maybe after you finish with this one, you can copy the content and use Canva or some similar design tools to design your resume to make it look nice. Okay. That's it for the resume.com. Again, is there any other questions before I end this webinar? It's quite late. It's 10:30 something. Oh no, it's 10:15 already here in Vietnam. Is there any other questions? And I mean, if you don't have any questions for now, it's okay to leave me some messages through my email or my Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, anything. And I forgot to tell you this, but Sunday Talk Project is my project. Is the thing that I mentioned earlier. It is an English club for you to practice your speaking skills, and I will be there. I am the host there, and I will guide you through some activities to practice English. So please join my club and enjoy English speaking practice. Please scan the code and leave me some comments and feedback. All right, if you don't have any other question, please answer this question. Oh no, this, I don't know. Please list 3 keywords you still remember from this session. Maybe it's the name of an app or the name of any word that you remember. So 3 keywords, anything that you still remember until this moment. Thank you, Winsuki. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Thank you. Cool, fantastic, generous. Wow, those are very big words. Is there any app name, or is there any website or any tools, any tips you still remember from my sharing? Cuckoo. It's nice. I love that. Waiting for more. Thank you, Wint. An accountability person, accountability partner, right? Unorganized. Yeah, that's me. A very ordinary person and very disorganized. AI, apps, websites. Thank you. Persistence will bring you greatness. Strong willingness to share. Very nice. Watch YouTube videos. Consistency. Super Chinese. Thank you so much, teacher. I'm not your teacher. I am a teacher, but I'm not your teacher. I am just a friend from Vietnam who comes and shares her tips on language learning with you. And final words, thank you so much for coming to my webinar today. And thank you, Edvice Hub and Wint, for giving me this opportunity to speak to the audience today. Some of you, I mean, most of you are very supportive, very engaging, actively contributing to my presentation, to my webinar. Even though I didn't have a lot of chance to speak to you guys, but I really enjoyed doing this webinar. And I hope that there are going to be more opportunities for me to collaborate with Edvice Hub in the future and deliver better content for youths in Myanmar and also in Southeast Asia and around the world as well. And I hope that you can benefit something from my webinar and all of you will advance further in your language learning journey. Good luck and thank you. Goodbye.
I almost forgot. We have to take the screenshot, but we only have 12 participants for now.
It's okay. It's okay. You can stop the recording right here.
Okay.